Alright guys, how you doing? It's been a while since I did my first update. Many of you guys have probably seen that video, but what I wanted to do was do an extended, longer-term update on this bike. Hey, you know, my neighbor up there is having a teenage moment or something, so he's like cranking away some music here. So if you can hear that over my voice, which I hope you can't, that's what that is. Anyways, back to the bike review. Last time I checked in with you guys for the first video I made, I think I had 26,000 or 28,000 miles. I can't remember. I've put on a few more miles than that, so let's check out what I got now. Okay, so I'm at 38,200 exactly on the dot. Yeah. Okay, so quite a bit more mileage on the bike, and today is the I still don't even know. It's the end of May 2015. So anyways, yeah, I got some good mileage on the bike. I just had the 36K service done on the bike, and essentially everything checked out great. The bike's running great. The only thing they had to do to my bike is they had to replace the cam chain. I thought my tensioner had gone, but it's actually the cam chain. And as a result, you know, the bike actually feels better. It's spooling up quick, and the engine feels a little bit tighter, as I guess it would. So that was really the only thing, you know. The oil changes, everything, that was great. No other issues on the bike whatsoever. Since the last time I spoke to you guys, I have redone my gearing. I put different sprockets on. Okay, so the first time I talked to you guys, I had put the Superlite sprocket on, which is what that guy is. I have since experimented with going one up in the front, which would be a 17 tooth as opposed to a 16 tooth, which is what comes stock on the bike. What I did gain is I gained some mid-range power and some top-end roll-on speed like you wouldn't believe. And the bike started pulling more like an inline 4 than a triple. But I did lose a lot of grunt down low right off the line, and it made the freeway cruising way more relaxed, and the bike definitely less nervous. So anyone who's looking to do that mod, a 17 tooth in the front would be a great way to go. What I did not like about it is because it moved the power to the mid-range. I did lose a lot of snap off the bottom, so I decided to go two down in the back to try to split the difference, and then went back to the stock 16 tooth in the front, and that helped a lot. I gained more of the snap off the bottom, still had some longer legs in the top end, and was able to bring my RPMs down lower for cruising on the freeway. So that was cool. Right now I'm actually back to stock because I wanted to just kind of do a comparison, and you know, hell, stock feels great. 1647 feels fantastic. Maybe I'll get a wild hair up my ass and maybe I'll do a 15 in the front, because I know a lot of guys that are doing that to get more of the hooligan action, more snap. But I do so many freeway miles going into Hollywood that I don't know if I want the RPMs climbing up any higher when I'm doing 80 or 85. Okay, so I'm actually getting better fuel mileage after my 36K service. I don't know if it's because the cam chain is making the engine tighter or not, but I'm basically getting another 2 to 3 miles per gallon over what I had before, which, hey, you know, I'll take it. So, okay, so the last time I spoke to you guys, I was running Q3s, and I was averaging 1,500 to 1,800 miles out of the sidewalls. If I milked it really badly, I could get up to 2,000, but I've been in search for a different tires that I can get the same kind of grip or something close, but get more mileage out of them. A lot of people told me different things to try, and I ended up trying some Pilot Powers from Michelin, the original single compound ones, and I really, really dig them. They feel really good. They're not as sticky as Q3s, but I was getting a lot more mileage out of them. I'm getting up to 3,400, 3,500 miles out of them, and I'm talking sidewalls, which is great. They have maybe 85, maybe 90% of the stick of a Q3. They don't quite have the feedback and the feel, but I'm willing to sacrifice some of that for some longevity, because I'm sick of going through tires every 6 weeks or every 4 weeks. What I have on here now is I've got the Pilot Power 3s, which are the 2CT Plus. They actually feel better than the Pilot Powers, especially when leaned over. They're a little bit softer, a little stickier, but I'm not getting quite as much mileage out of them. These here, I've got, as you can see the sidewalls, I'm getting roughly, I think these have about 2,200 miles on them, which again is way better than the Q3s, but as you can see, I'm going to start to need to replace them pretty soon. I should probably pay attention to what I'm aiming my camera at more now instead of reading this thing, but I don't know, maybe you can see them there. Anyways, okay, so Pilot Power 3s recommended, better mileage than the Q3s, and I'd say 95% of the grip. Okay, oh, comfort seat. A couple people have asked me what the seat is. It's got some white stitching on it. That's essentially the OEM Triumph branded excuse me, comfort seat, which is really, really comfortable. It's a little bit harder out of the gate, a little firmer out of the gate than the standard OEM seat that comes stock on the bike. But, and I wasn't sure if it was actually going to help, but after putting several hundred miles on the seat, after spending several hundred miles in the seat at any one given time, it offers a lot more support, and it's actually easier to slide back and forth and side to side on this seat because of the way it's shaped. So I haven't tried the Corbin or the Sargent versions out for these bikes, but I would definitely recommend this for anyone that wants to upgrade over the standard seat. It did raise the ride height up just a hair, but you know, no big deal. Your ass cheeks will thank you. A lot of people might notice, or maybe you won't, but maybe I'm pointing it out, is my bike's pretty freaking dirty and full of bugs, but that's because I've been riding, and you know, we have a water shortage here in LA, so I've been trying not to wash my bike to save water and be, you know, be a good citizen. Let's see what else. Oh, speedy bars. I've put some speed triple bars on the bike. They're standard speed triple R bars, and I like them better. If you can see, the profile is a little bit lower, a little flatter. The pull, the sweep is about the same. The width is a little wider, so I cut them down to kind of match. Maybe I have them about ½ inch wider than the stock bars. But I like the position a lot better. It's a little more aggressive. I'm not completely stink bug like I would be on a Daytona, but I get the same kind of leverage, and it's more comfortable for me, especially at speed. And to go with that, as far as the rider triangle goes, I've put some Daytona rear sets on. I got these as a takeoff from a 675R. Got them for pretty cheap, and they essentially move the pegs up and back, essentially. And what I've actually noticed is that the bike flicks way easier from side to side. I can find my left-right transitions way easier. And obviously the added ground clearance is great when you're railing through canyons or on the track. So that's probably one of the best mods I've done to the bike. I didn't give up too much in the way of comfort, if any at all, but again, I'm 5'5" on a good day with low barometric pressure, so someone with longer legs, well, most of you guys, might be a little more cramped on it, but it feels really good to me. And a couple of my friends who have ridden this bike really didn't complain with the comfort or lack thereof. And heck, any of you guys with a Daytona would know exactly what these feel like. So you can find these pretty cheap takeoffs. They're going for, well, I'm not going to say what I paid for them, but they're way cheaper than aftermarket rear sets you're going to get from anyone else. So look for them. Oh, another thing I've done that I think everybody should do that does their own wheel changes are some captive wheel spacers. If any of you guys have ever struggled with getting the rear tire back on and off, fighting with trying to keep the calipers in line with the rotor while you're trying to keep the damn spacers in, and you're wedging your foot or a piece of wood underneath there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a total pain in the dick. So I bought these captive wheel spacers. A couple guys online are selling them. Well worth the money. They just pop in and they stay put. So when you're wrestling with the back wheel and trying to get it back into the swing arm, you're not ready to gouge your eyes out. So definitely worth doing. I know I'm kind of talking about a bunch of different things and not really about how the bike is, but I figured I'd kind of go through the list of mods first, and what's one working for me. You know, here in California, we've got the, when we come up to a stoplight, you can sometimes sit for what feels like forever at this damn stoplights waiting for them to change. So and I went out and I bought a couple of the bike-specific magnet light changers at 25 or 30 bucks a pop, and I keep losing the damn things, so I figured, you know what, this is way too much money to keep throwing on the bike. It's a little pissant little magnet. So I went to some magnet store online, Magnets for You or Magnets Are Us, or, you know, magnetbaby.com, and basically picked up a little round magnet that was probably $8, and the thing is so strong it literally probably crush your bone if you put your finger between a pole and the magnet. But I took that and I stuck it on my oil drain cap or plug. It's brilliant because the magnetic field is created by the magnet, and it trips the wires that are embedded in the asphalt at all the lights. So that's a super cheap mod and a great thing to do if you guys are sick of sitting there waiting for the damn lights to change. Oh, one last thing that I've done to the bike recently, I changed the front brake pads to some Carbone Lorraine, and they're the racing pads. I think they're the 59s or the 69s. I can't remember what they are. But either way, they are not as grabby and bitey as the originals, as the OEMs, but they offer a lot more feedback and a lot more feel, and you can modulate way, way, way better. So what that means is when I'm leaned over doing some trail braking into a corner pretty hot, I know exactly what's going on with where the brakes are and how much I've got, so I'm not going to endo or end up on my face. So then they're pretty cheap. They don't take a whole lot of time to warm up. Just a couple stops and I'm leaving the driveway. A couple quick stabs on the lever, and things are good. And they get right up to speed. So don't let a track pad or track specific pad scare you. They feel great, and it's definitely a great mod to do. Okay, so with all that said and all the things I've done, I guess what you really want to know is how's the bike running, and this will be the shortest part of the whole damn video, is that it runs great. It's pulling like mad, it's handling great, I've got zero issues with it. I'm almost about to clip 40,000 miles. I'll probably hit that one in the next couple weeks, and the bike feels great. I've got zero issues with it whatsoever. The clutch is starting to, I'm not saying it's slipping, but it's not throwing me as hard as before, but that's to be expected. Again, almost 40,000 miles. So I'm going to have to start thinking about putting a new clutch in there at some point coming up. But as far as the way the bike is riding, I've got zero issues with it. It's feeling fantastic, and it's pulling hard, and I'm still getting great mileage. I'm not eating any oil, and nothing's breaking or falling apart, or no warranty issues like I had earlier on in my first video. So, you know, knock wood, everything will be status quo, and the next update I'll do will basically be talking about shit I put on my bike as opposed to shit that happened to my bike. So there you go. Hope this has been informative, and thanks for watching.